Where do you see, I guess, the overall industry, not only from a CPG standpoint, but maybe even from a media standpoint in the coming years? Hey everyone, this is Shad Ellis from TDR. We are in Miami at the Benzinga conference this week and learned a lot of stuff. I know a lot of you investors out there are concerned with the space right now, but there's some positive feedback that's gone on, and we want to bring to you a slew of interviews and podcasts here today as we drive down the A1A. And our first guest here today, Perry Miele from Beringer Capital, managing partner. Good to see you. How are things?
Great. Good to be finally with you in this interview. Right? We've been talking for a while. Yeah. It's fabulous.
Anthony Barrell joins us as well. Good to see you, millennial entrepreneur. You had an interesting question for us last night. Big takeaway when people attend this event, and this is what you encourage, is give me one reason why you should still invest in cannabis. And I want to get into that because we've asked a few questions to some people when we talked to you earlier this week. But you are basically a private equity firm that's invested in a lot of different industries, especially media companies. You obviously invested into Benzinga, which was big news from about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But when we look at the media landscape, I worked in traditional television for 15 years. I realized how much has changed. But when you look for media companies and the way content needs to be published, produced, what do you look for in a company to ultimately get what people want to see and consume in this day and age?
Yeah, no, I think that's the essence of it, because it's too easy to see a trend. Like 5 years ago, everyone got into cannabis. Everyone was rushing, tripping over themselves to buy. Crypto, the same thing. And if you look back, I'll use crypto as an example. Everyone wanted to bail. It was more around fixing what the issue is. We talked about it yesterday, trust and transparency.
Yep.
With cannabis, it's just, again, going back to history, which is, look at all the liquor companies there used to be. There's going to be a consolidation. You need to have it regulated. You need to have it managed, but everyone has to know going forward. And it's quality of product. I mean, how different is it than the wine industry that's 150 years old?
Yeah.
Where the vines are growing, all of that. So I think what everyone is getting out of this is the other part is the data side. Mm-hmm. And so for us, that's what we look at. We look behind about how much data. Look at it's Chan Brodsky, who's hooked up with Ric Flair and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yes, those are great brands, but Chad is really good at looking at the data. He can actually now share with the consumer packaged goods industry, based on his insights of cannabis users, which product they would buy.
Right.
And so the data is where the rich asset is.
Of course.
While we're all waiting for the consolidation and find out who are the big five cannabis producers and retailers who will control the business 10 years from now.
Yeah, it's a good point. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that's big. I mean, I think Chad Philo has been around for some time now. And I mean, I think one of the pain points for the cannabis companies is attribution. Like they put out the marketing spend, they do all this media, but where's the attribution? Like where's that actual consumer coming from? Data is, couldn't agree more. And creating those actionable insights for those cannabis companies, as well as at the forefront of like what Benzinga is doing with creating actionable insights for investors. I mean, it pairs very, very well.
Right. And to that point, we invested in a company as a private equity firm, a company called Dig Insights out of Toronto. And they're a North American sort of global firm, but they specialized in using, algorithms and machine learning and AI to figure out how to get to insights quicker, faster, and more accurate. Because all of the big companies around the world use them because the insights are the key to launching a product, bringing life to an old product, and finding out what the consumers are looking for. So I think on the cannabis side, they've got to dig deep, like Chad has, into the insights, and I'm with you on that.
So you don't think that's happening enough?
It's starting to happen.
Yeah.
It's happening faster, and I think everyone, the buzz, Benzinga is always great at bringing out those, where is it going? And I think I've talked to about 20 investors, operators, and they're all talking about it.
Right.
So I was really encouraged walking out of the meeting today going, they're onto it. They know what the next stage is.
Right.
Do you think that as the larger social media companies allow cannabis on their platforms, that large influx of data is going to help catalyze what we're talking about from like an attribution and I guess insight standpoint?
I think we were at one of the same events. I was talking to the Twitter executives that are here.
Yeah.
And they're all in.
Yeah.
And when you hear something, like that's a category that, we need a big digital media company, like you mentioned, to engage and say, we're going to commit X amount of resources. And that's going to help all the cannabis producers who know how to market, by the way. Because marketing digitally is a little more sophisticated than just running an ad on TV.
Yeah. It's amazing how much the media landscape has changed, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has. And, when you learn that sometimes if there's a category you're not allowed to be in, let's say tobacco, what in digital, what you can do is you can go and acquire another product like a leather jacket and then give that brand name onto that and have that person smoking that cigar wearing that jacket. So, but you can only do that digital because you need the time to tell the story. You need to be able to put multiple pieces of content online, right? Digital works when you have, like 100 pieces of content. Only 3 might work, but you've got to be able to churn.
Absolutely.
So I'm assuming you're a big fan of AI.
Very big. 3 of our 5 platform companies are driven by AI, patents, SaaS products. We believe in it in a big way.
So you made a sizable investment. This is going back October 2021, if I'm correct, in Benzinga. And I think for our viewers, they want to get an idea of like, okay, what's important here? What's the message that we're trying to do with this interview right now? But with this investment, Benzinga's really gone to new heights to obviously provide more content for a lot of investors. So as you're down in this conference here this week, for people that don't make it, what's some of the feedback that you received? And most importantly, the overall health of the industry that's moving forward?
Yeah, the reason we made, I'll start there. Why did we make a major investment in Benzinga? We bought into Jason's vision of financial news. In the past, it was only the big blue chip old news houses that gave you financial news. Jason's view was we, as 99.9% of investors, got it late. And that he was going to bring the news in real time, faster than anyone else, so that you can make decisions for investing. The second one, we found that the 20 to 40-year-old demographic, their habits have changed drastically. Right. It's DIY, right? Do it yourself. Sorry, did I get that right?
DIY. Yep.
DIY. And so we did the research and found that that's not going to change.
No.
In fact, it's only going to grow. So that they want as much data, give me the information, and I'll decide how to invest. And so Benzinga was doing that at a rapid rate. And what we wanted to do is partner with Jason to accelerate that. So these conferences that Jason and Luke and the team put on, that Benzinga puts on, are about that. Bringing the investors not just on our website or our subscription base, but at events so you can share information.
Absolutely.
And make better investments. That's the long-term outcome is, can we help you become a better investor? And that's what Benzinga strives for every day.
What do you think it's done for the industry with an announcement and a commitment like that since, what was that, 18 months ago?
Right. I think it's forced everyone to look at the model of bringing information at a rapid rate and basically saying, rather than try to sell you brokerage services and charge you a fee, how about if we just produce the best content? I think all the content has improved. Yeah, it's a great. I look at some of our competitors and I see their content is improving as well. So we're raising the bar. And some of the older financial establishments have to look back at them putting out reports 2 weeks after an announcement because they wanted to make it 90 pages long. They're realizing, like Benzinga, it's got to be, quick. It's got to be to the point, and I need it today.
We're in a TikTok world. 7 seconds.
7 seconds.
It's an attention economy. I mean, it's an attention economy. You lose attention very quickly.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It absolutely is unbelievable. Like, I'm a big fan of the outlets that actually put how much time it should take you to read the article. And I land on it and it's like, oh, this should take you 3 minutes and 34 seconds. I'm like, done. Boom.
Yeah, the Financial Times and The Economist, to their credit, have done that.
I love The Economist.
Yeah, one of the oldest, most well-known brands in media. And I look at that, I go, I got 4 minutes.
The Economist does that very well.
Yeah. Interesting to say the least. I saw it firsthand. Every year we'd see how many people are cutting their cable cords. And, a lot of these mainstream media companies are owned by telecom companies, and a lot of their focus is on the telecom portion. So when you see people cutting their cable cord, they got to lay 50% of their staff off, and there's less resources to cover, especially new and emerging industries. But to your point, you're seeing more and more advanced content. It's getting better and better within this industry because, let's face it, cannabis has always had that taboo image. But where do you see, I guess, the overall industry, not only from a CPG standpoint, but maybe even from a media standpoint in the coming years?
Yeah, I think that more and more people, when you have individuals as high profile as Mike Tyson and Ric Flair, more celebrities, the NBA is now going to allow players to use cannabis and without penalizing them.
Yeah.
All the sports leagues have come around. And when they're all telling stories of you can either give me painkillers or not, and go to cannabis and not risk addiction, it's starting to get, its image is starting to get cleaned up. I think like liquor, various products, it will be, as long as we keep doing great marketing, regulation is important, the quality.
It's a big announcement with Twitter when you come to marketing, right? There's limitations, right?
Yeah, so I think they're going to have no choice. They allow liquor to be marketed. There's no reason why they should not allow cannabis to be marketed, right? And that's what's coming along. All these products will be accepted, especially as a generation who uses it and sees it different.
Yeah. I've been curious to see if you see like a cookies arena.
Well, I mean, wait until you can go to a music festival, or you can go to a sporting event, and you can buy a cannabis product just as easily as you can buy a Bud Light.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
It will. I think you're right. In Canada, we're pretty well there.
Yeah.
I think, as you guys know, because every corner there's a cannabis retailer.
Yep.
Maybe too many. No one knows. The market will figure itself out as it always does. Right?
Yeah.
Markets are efficient, as we've been taught, and I think there's always going to be one close to an event. And some people, alcohol is not for them.
Yeah.
And enough with these
When you look at younger universities, stats that are showing the decline of alcohol consumption, that's what's going with them, right?
So I'm assuming from a product perspective, you're a fan of beverages in the cannabis space. I mean, I think beverages are the future, not as a consumer, but as an actual.
Well, the number one growing area in alcohol, everything is down in the last 2 years. Wine, beer, brown liquors, etc., except for the RTD, right?
Yeah.
The ready to drink can of seltzer, some sort of vodka water. They are exploding, and so it's proven that a different demographic and generation prefer those over a beer.
Yep.
Or like a double scotch, whatever it is. But they are growing at double digits while everything is down a digit or two. Beer is down double digits. So I don't think that's kind of a one-time trend, which everyone had predicted.
It's a generational trend.
Absolutely. So when my daughter and her friends come up to our cottage, they don't, like us, our generation would show up with cases of beer.
Yeah.
They show up with everything. My fridge is loaded with 19 different RTDs.
No kidding.
Maybe a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah. I've got a bet going with my friends that Dave Fournoy is going to make more money from High Noon than he did from Penn National Gaming.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I can't believe how, being down south here, where I see it everywhere.
It's everywhere. You walk in every Publix and there's a pyramid of it.
So there's the answer to the original question. Why should you invest in cannabis? That comes back to our question off the top, and I think that is a great reason why. Like when you look at the metrics are improving for companies, when you look at the amount of states that legalized it, obviously from medicinal and recreational, it was here a year ago, it's now here. When you look at revenue being produced, it was here a year ago, now it's being here. And a lot of the feedback I'm receiving this week, and I've had this on my podcast a couple times, is that we're not concerned so much about market share, it's about turning profit. That seems to be the number one priority right now. And I think the industry will downsize with the amount of operators, but I think that'll flourish for the companies that obviously have a long-term sustainable model, don't you think?
I think you're right. If you were going to give someone, we talked last night about one message, is that the cannabis companies have gone from focusing on growth and market share to finally realizing, oh, wait a minute, we have to have a bottom line.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've invested hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. It's time to translate that into a profit. And the winners are going to be the ones who do that the quickest.
Yep. Do you believe this weather this week?
It's been a great winter from everything I've heard in South Florida. Yeah. This is the first nasty weather front in 4 months.
Yeah. Right. Listen, appreciate the time. This has been great, but appreciate the feedback. And I think it's just important for people to understand where they're getting their content from, how it is improving, and most importantly, getting better education for the industry as a whole so people can make smart decisions based off of that.
That's it, 100%.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Great.
Good stuff.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about the emerging industries that we cover, then leave a comment below and let us know who you want us to interview, the questions you want asked, and the information that you want to learn. We want to hear from you. As usual, click on that bell for all notifications to get the latest information, share this video with your network, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we would not be here without you. Thanks for watching, everyone.